So I guess, I guess we start by saying, Mark, thanks for taking some time to have this chat. Looking forward to it. Um, I wonder if maybe this is as a quick way of starting, just kind of let folks know sort of, who we each are and what we're here to talk about.
Well, thank you, Adam, for having me along. Great to be here. I'm looking forward to a very quick chat about AI. So, Mark Riley here in Bristol. I have a small boutique AI consultancy, and we encourage our clients to adopt AI in a effective and ethical fashion. I think it's great to be talking to you because I know we have a lot in common in terms of our approach and our backgrounds and our philosophies and our methodologies when it comes to innovation and ideation. So I'm really looking forward to this chat.
Likewise. Likewise. One thing we're seeing with so many of our clients at Treehouse. So for those who don't know, Treehouse Innovation, London-based innovation design consultancy, everything product design, service design, and now really looking at how AI impacts both the process of designing new things and also how it will inform the solutions themselves, how AI will enable new things. And every client we're working with is, I think, probably obviously asking that same question, which is, what's going to be the impact for our business? Where should we invest? How should we invest? And what we're seeing right now is quite a lot of sort of urgency to make that investment, to do something with AI, but varied levels of kind of intentionality and strategy around those investments. It just sort of seems like, listen, we know we got to do it. Let's throw some money at it and hope it sticks. I mean, are you seeing similar things like that in pockets? I mean, obviously not with all, but with some of the organizations you're working with.
Yeah, very much so. And I think 2023 was the year of let's figure this out after ChatGPT was released in 22. And I think 2024 is going to be the year of execution and deploying AI solutions. So it's exciting for us. But I think you're right. There's a lot of hesitancy, and part of our role is to get clients over that initial hump of fear. And my message to most people at the moment is, let's start with education and training, and just bring everyone up to speed on the basics, and then they can start to adopt AI as a culture as much as a technology.
When you say a culture of AI, what do you mean there?
So I love to think that I love to say that AI is not software. So it's a mistake to think of it as software, because software is something you can plug in and play with, and you might have to refresh it or update it. So if software is buying a plant, AI is buying a puppy or a kitten, right? You got to train this thing. It's not just for Christmas, it's for life. You're going to have a long-term plan on your AI strategy. So I think it's a different mindset. And I think the culture is very different in many ways in terms of solutions, problems it solves, efficiency it can find, products it can build. And that will impact every part of your business, whether that's the people you're hiring, people you want to retain, the language you want people to use at work, how it impacts on business strategies, and then the overall kind of feel of a company, I think, changes once you're an AI first company.
Yeah. And when you say an AI first company, I mean, I will tell you, that's already leaps and bounds beyond where most of the conversations we're having with clients. I mean, right now, so the topic is often, like you just talk about awareness, just some of the basics of what's an LLM or versus an NLP, and what's structured versus non-structured data. I mean, some of these fundamental things we're seeing in some cases just starting to trickle up, really, from the technical teams that know this stuff backwards and forwards and have for a number of years, right? This isn't new. It's just the world's kind of woken up to it recently. But it's trickling up into the C-suite, into the leadership teams, who in some cases are still astounded when they can see how ChatGPT can answer a question or Midjourney can create an image. So that awareness, just the basic level of awareness, I think, is still starting to kind of fill in at senior levels with a lot of big organizations still. But tell us about that gap from, your perspective, from that general awareness at the senior level to now we're an AI led, AI first
Sure. I mean,
business.
I like to think of it in terms of innovation. So there's bottom up innovation and top down, especially true when it comes to AI. And I think for most companies, you already are an AI company in terms of bottom up adoption. And I can almost guarantee that some or most of your colleagues are using AI in their workflow.
Yeah.
So this is why it comes back to training. And I think it's important that you train your staff up to get a basic level of knowledge on how to get the most out of those tools, and not to be afraid of them. And that's where it comes back to adoption, right? So smart people will be using these tools, and less smart people will be thinking of it as cheating or shortcuts. It's not. It makes people more efficient and productive. And then after that, the top down is much more the strategic bets, which is where I think Treehouse comes in terms of your process. And if we step back a little bit, and I hope you agree with this, that AI changes nothing in terms of the innovation process that you and I are familiar with when it comes to ideation and product development. The fundamentals of design thinking still apply. And you go right back to problem solving and customer problems to solve. Would you agree with that? Do you feel that's sacrosanct?
I think some of the fundamental principles of human-centered design are immutable. Like, as long as there's a human being in the process, like you're designing something for someone, then yeah, it's, you need to make sure you're solving the right problem. We do that through, user insights, understanding what people care about. You need to generate lots of possibilities, ideation, and then you need to kind of pick some ideas to prototype, test, evolve, and experiment towards implementation. And I think those fundamentals don't go away, right? It's, don't lead with solution, lead with solving the right problem, understanding your user, and then test to learn. Those things are always going to be there. But the way it looks, though, the way that process looks in action is changing so much. Like, just in our work at Treehouse, like we use so many AI tools now to accelerate bits of that process, whether it's synthesis of user research or whether it is a few rounds of ideation just done within ChatGPT, or whether it is, we've created specific bots, within ChatGPT that understand our context and give us much more relevant, results, and it really becomes sort of another team member. So that, and also prototyping and testing, it's incredible, right? It really speeds things up. So it's really transformed it. But yeah, the fundamentals, in the AI context, you're solving the right problem, making sure you're not just throwing money at AI, you're throwing money at the right problem that can be addressed with AI. You're building solutions using the right technologies, and then, as always, with any new solution, you have to really, focus on adoption, getting people engaged and aligned around new ways of doing things. So yeah, the fundamentals are the same, but the way it looks and the speed that it moves at we're feeling a real difference.
That's amazing. I think you've hit on two really cool things there. So one is the fact that you're using AI already. And I think generative AI, the clue is in the name, and it's incredibly cool at generating creative ideas, just as a thought provoker. And in the innovation context, that is so valuable. And it's great that you guys are already using that and embracing that. That's so cool. I think the other thing you touched on is that when it comes to the solutions part of the exercise, that it's important that your participants, your colleagues, your clients have an understanding of where AI fits in into the solution process. Because traditionally, innovation was all about, let's build an app, let's build a website, let's build a machine, let's build an event. Whereas now you have to have the full kind of understanding of where AI can come in to your product development. And I hope that's what Mathison can bring to the table. I'm sure your clients will have ideas. And I think it's important we tease those ideas out of your clients, but to get there, we might have to educate them on the way and show them different tools and techniques and strategies that AI can help them with.
Yeah. No, and there is. I was just having a conversation with an basically a head of innovation, person in a pretty large organization, and was talking about how one of the biggest challenges that they're seeing is that the breadth of solutions out there and tools and ways of using AI, they're changing and growing so quickly that it's very, very difficult for, you know, people who aren't in that sort of cutting edge core team, like the people who have AI in their job title, outside of that, the people who are on the product teams, the people who are, maybe, in sales, people who are, leaders in the organization, so hard for them to kind of keep pace with how those things might inform new solutions, new ways of working, and that's creating a real disconnect. So yeah, that awareness thing, it's like it's like a bullet train.
I love it. And I think it's probably a masochistic tendency, but I love the fact that the industry moves so fast and, it's a constant challenge every day just to keep up with the news flow. But this is what's fun about AI in a sense, from a sort of philosophical angle. I'd love to know where you are on this, because in an innovation environment, there's always been a creative tension between the accelerationists and the cautionists. So the people that want to put the brakes on, the others that want to go as fast as possible. And I think what I see Treehouse's role is often championing people to go as fast as possible and be ambitious and be creative. But now AI is in conversation. It's like there's always people in the room like, oh, slow down a little bit. Where are you on that spectrum?
I mean, again, we talk about you say, does the process of human-centered design change? I think fundamentals, we said before, no, but the way they show up in an AI context does. And I think this idea of acceleration versus caution, I think this is where that old trusted concept of prototyping and experimentation,
100%.
assumption testing, that now has a whole new relevance in this AI context. Because again, what's the whole purpose of experimenting? It's let's understand sort of what could go wrong before it does, before we build it, right? Before something hits the market and we realize nobody wants it, right? Or it doesn't work. And I think that with AI, that ability to go so much more quickly, should you choose to, it's going to put you on the fast track to either success or failure. And I think there's always within any organization that's seeking to make money or to get competitive advantage, there is now this increased temptation to get things out faster than they ever were before, which I think is an even greater call for make sure there is that rigorous experimentation that happens before implementation. It's almost kind of like spread betting. It's like, versus investing, right? You get there so much quicker, but you still get exposed to that same level of risk, even with a smaller investment. Just because something went to market fast, if it ends up causing problems or having unforeseen negative impact on your customers, your reputation, that the risks are still there, even though you got there quickly.
Which is fun, right? Because in a way, we've always preached agile product development, which is building MVP, small prototypes. And that is so true, if not more true with AI. Exactly as you just said. So you've got to de-risk it, both from an investment financial position, also from a safety position. So you test AI in very discrete contained environments, and you put bona fide data in. And only once you've proven that it works can you then actually look to deploy it. So where are you, what's the sort of AI maturity, would you say, for most of your clients coming through? Are they speculative, or are they excited, or are they nervous? Or
well, I think it's very different from industry to industry, right? I think I was working with a great guy, a fellow named Ralph Baxter, he's the head of Oric, big law firm, and we were running an event here in London a couple months ago, and he was basically saying, looking at AI and saying, if you're a pipe fitter, your job is going to be pretty much exactly the same, last year, this year, 10 years down the line, no matter how much happens in the front of AI. However, if you are a knowledge worker, in other words, if you're someone who trades on their expertise, on their, on their knowledge, on that being that expert, then that the depth of the transformation, I think, is being at the moment still underestimated. And I think that for our clients, not just our clients, but the organizations that we know and we talk to, we know a lot of people in a lot of places who are looking at this challenge. There's definitely a spectrum of those who are saying, "Yep, this is going to allow us to do things faster, smarter, better, more value to our customers and clients." And then those who are recognizing that, yeah, there's a real opportunity to profoundly, flip our industry on its head, and we don't know how fast to move down that path. And there's so many opportunities for cannibalization of those kind of professional services, things that your accountant or advisor or your lawyer did for you yesterday. Some of those things have the potential to move over to AI as it increases as its ability increases. So I think there's a lot of questioning about sort of where is that going to go and how quickly do we make those moves and put out those products that might cannibalize our current offerings, but we want to make sure we do it before our competitors do. So there's a lot of, I think it's one of those times where there's so much excitement, but so much uncertainty that, yeah, I mean, we're also kind of seeing like the more people wanting to talk about scenario planning and things like that, just to kind of, figure where is this heading and what does it mean for us?
So it's the same. It's funny, isn't it? Because it's all the same old innovation blockers coming back, and it's also the same innovator's dilemma, but just times 10. Mm-hmm. So it's just like everything there is the same as before. We just got to be more sensitive and empathetic as you navigate it. But I would also add I think you agree with this, that I would never run an AI workshop as such, just looking how do we deploy AI to solve our problems, because we don't want to have AI as the classic cliche hammer looking for a nail solution. Sure. So I think it's important that AI is just part of a toolkit. And it's often a case that AI is not the solution to your problems. Mm-hmm. But the corollary of that is it's important that you have the knowledge and the training to understand where AI can be applied, mm-hmm. And what the ROI is. And this is always, because it's such a nascent business in the workshop environment, mm-hmm. just being able to put an ROI on AI is becoming better and clearer, often because the tech investment is getting radically more efficient and cheaper with time. But it's still, for me, do you find that still a challenge, just being able to do the business planning?
I think, as for the business planning from the organizations that we're seeing, there's definitely a spectrum of those who I think are ahead of the curve and those who, even despite all of the warnings and despite AI being at the top of like sort of every McKinsey top trends for the next 10 years, for the last 10 years, are still caught completely off guard by this. So we're seeing very, very different levels of sort of preparation and robust planning. Some between like very well thought out strategic decisions where people are making big moves quickly, and we're seeing a lot of this in software, without a doubt, and information technology. But I think there are other entire industries that it's shocking when you meet even some senior folks who we realize like, yeah, we knew it was coming, but we didn't really know what was coming until it showed up. Until that, for some people, it's this kind of transformative moment when the first time they asked, ChatGPT to write a story about two dogs, a tiger, and a falcon, and it does, and you realize, oh my goodness, okay, there's something a little more here beyond some of the advances that we've lived through in the past.
Yeah, and the other message I like to say is that we're all very excited by generative AI, and it's cool because it bridges the machine-human divide, and it's very easy to use. But I would like I would say 80% of my clients are still using what I would call traditional AI to more effect, which is clustering and supervised learning, unsupervised learning. So there's all the good. Some of my colleagues call it boring AI, but it's actually the important one. It's still ticking away in the background, doing some amazing things. So I don't. Let's not get too blinded. So, I mean, before we wrap, I'm just so excited. All us folks here at Mathison are really excited about working with Treehouse, and we're very keen to kind of get involved with your processes and just see where we can help and add value.
And likewise, Mark, 100%. Yeah, we obviously know each other for a good while now, and I think I'm really excited about what we're going to be doing together in 2024. One thing that the start of this, we were talking about, that question of when people ask you, and because they're asking us all the same question, when an organization comes or a leader comes to you and says, I know I need to invest in AI. I know that it needs to be a priority. What should I do, or what should I be thinking about when making that investment decision? Or what advice do you have for a leader who's making that investment decision?
So the easy one is bottom up, educate your staff, train your staff. There's plenty of courses online, offline, just to get them competent using the tools. It's a bit like where we were with Excel in 2001, right? You want to get your staff using Excel and PowerPoint. Now you got to get them using generative AI tools, and it's exactly the same. Top down, I think, is where we come in, and where you would come in, where we take a step back, look at the business strategy, the goals, and the roadmap, and look at your workflows and your org sheets, and then we figure out how AI can help find efficiencies. But more exciting to me is where you place bets in building AI into your product, or even building a completely new product with AI. And that is the process that you guys are extremely good at, and that will de-risk it. But you need that kind of AI knowledge in the room. So I think between us, we can help clients both to the bottom up piece and more exciting strategic top down piece.
Yeah. No, I think that's great advice. I think really, really well put. I know when we've been having this conversation, again, we keep coming back to some really familiar themes, like whether it's, you're always trying to marry up human needs with the possibilities of technology, right? To generate the best solution, right? That's been the purpose around innovation since the beginning of time. I think
That's
now
humanity.
Exactly.
For progress.
Well, I think it's just so much, like we found a lot of our conversations are going back to such like first principles. Like when making that AI investment decision or looking at where should we be placing our bets, it is that take the step back, are we solving the right problem? Is it really aligned to a human need, or is it just some exciting tech that that we want to deploy? Getting that right. Once we're clear on that, making sure that not only if we've got the right need, are we aware of what potential there is out there in terms of AI tools, AI capability. So we might generate a load of ideas, but if we don't know like what those possibilities of technology really are, those ideas, they might even have the power to shape the idea itself. I mean, it's so critical to understand the what's possible today. And that requires, like you say, having the AI people in the room, because it cannot be the head of marketing or the CEO's job to be as abreast of the change that's happening at this pace. Right. And then the last thing, again, not new at all, but again, just happening faster, just the contrast dialed up, is these solutions that are coming out of this process, right? An AI enabled, whether it's product or new internal process. To never underestimate the challenge of getting people aligned around that new solution, whether it is, an internal process where people need to, to learn it, change. It's a change management process, right? They need to change what they're doing today in order to adopt this new thing. And there's all the stuff that comes with that, or something that is radically new to the market, right? This increased ability to move things out into implementation also means you've got that the whole adoption curve changes, where those early adopters, might not even be done with your last product before the next thing comes out. How do the maturity models on these, I think, are still, there's a lot to be seen on
And I completely agree with that. And to your earlier point about disruption, so analog companies were famously vulnerable to digital companies, first wave. And now you're seeing especially analog companies are highly vulnerable to AI first companies just because of the cost base has been stripped out.
Yeah.
So it's like the innovator's dilemma is alive and well, but never been more pertinent. So, leadership has to get on board that they're under the next coming AI wave is going to be much bigger than the digital wave. And look out if you want to compete, you need to adopt these technologies.
Indeed. Well, Mark, hey, thanks a lot for taking some time for our chat today. Been a great way to spend a bit of a Friday afternoon here on a chilly January day. But looking forward to working with you and the team there, and the whole team here at Treehouse is really excited about the year ahead.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been a great chat, and I'm looking forward to it enormously. And we'll see you in London.
All right.